Your parents were there. They did all the right things. They fed you, housed you, maybe even smiled. But behind the pleasant facade, they were unavailable. There was no emotional mirroring, no deep listening, no genuine connection with your parents. And that absence as a child creates a hollow feeling, a deep confusion about what love and safety truly mean. It can make it difficult for us to trust others or even ourselves emotionally. And so in this session, we will look to fill that emptiness, to acknowledge the pain of that covert neglect, so that you can begin to let yourself rely on your own stable internal presence. And you can see the description box for a few articles on the research, the science, on how this works if you're interested. For today, rate yourself on a 1 to 10 scale as you think of having parents who were right there and yet still completely unavailable. And if you get overwhelmed, just keep tapping and breathing and letting that memory or sensation or emotion that's come up process through. And then when you're ready, get back to repeating after me when you can. So that's it. Tap with and repeat after me. And where I say parents, you can say mom or dad or whatever you called them. Your brain and body will know what you mean. Even though my parents were physically present but emotionally absent, and that left me feeling hollow, I deeply and completely love and accept the child who had to navigate that emptiness. Even though I learned the hard way that being pleasant doesn't equal emotional safety, I choose to fill that old void with my own presence and become my own reliable source of comfort. Even though I felt like I had to parent myself in an emotionally empty house. I'm proud of my resilience, and I'm safe to let go of that need to constantly cope alone. Even though it's so unfair that I was so little and felt so alone, I deeply and completely love and support myself now and my inner child from back then. I grew up feeling emotionally alone. My parents were there, but they weren't there. They weren't there for me how I needed. I was just a kid. That polite distance was confusing. It created a huge, aching emptiness inside. I was just a kid. They were all that I had. Parents were supposed to be how I learned about love and connection and emotions. Instead, I felt unseen even when I was standing right there in front of them. I learned I couldn't rely on my parents for deep comfort. I had to be pleasant and self-sufficient. What is that? Come on, I was so little. I deserved better than that. I still look for someone to fill that hollow place. I can stop looking for others to fill the void of my parents now. I am learning and allowing myself to be truly present for myself. I acknowledge the pain of their covert neglect. It wasn't my fault my parents were unavailable. They should have done the work to heal themselves so they could better help me as a kid. Give any child what they need and deserve. Instead, I constantly felt alone. I was often sad and uncertain, wondering if I did something wrong. Did they not want me or not want kids at all? I was just a kid wondering if I did something wrong because I wanted to show my parents love. Was something wrong with me because I wanted to show my parents love? Of course nothing's wrong with me. I was a kid. I'm a human being. There's absolutely nothing wrong with wanting closeness and affection. I'm releasing any belief that emotional closeness is dangerous or wrong in any way. I'm safe to let others in now. It was okay and normal to want emotional attachment as a child. It's perfectly normal to want it now as an adult. It wasn't just my parents' loss to not connect fully with me, it was my loss also. Their emotional absence really hurt. My parents really left a void in me as a child. But I'm choosing to connect to my inner depth now. I'm finally recognizing that the emptiness is just waiting to be filled by me. It's okay. I'm okay. I'm fully present for myself now. I'm filling this old childhood void with my own stable energy now. I know what true emotional connection feels like. I know I've always been worthy of that connection. It's okay to love and be loved. I'm becoming my most reliable anchor. My safety doesn't belong, or my safety isn't defined by anyone else's presence. I am healing those wounds now. I was, now, am always worthy of deep connection. I am creating a deep, available, and nurturing emotional environment within myself. I am filling any emotional voids myself now. I am my own reliable presence. Me as my emotional home is safe and stable. I am releasing that hollow feeling and void of my past now. I'm healing, loving, and supporting my inner child. I trust myself to be present for me now. I trust myself to know who else I can rely on emotionally. I am whole, worthy, and deeply emotionally available. Deep breath and check in on that hollow feeling, that 1 to 10 scale. Emotional neglect at a young age can teach us to expect emptiness from others, and that we may not be worthy of attention or time. So this work that we did today is about installing the opposite of those truths, new truths for you, that we were always worthy, we are worthy right now, we will always be worthy of attention, of healthy emotional connections. It's always been okay for us to bring our needs to light and have our needs met. And I'm sorry you didn't get that as a child. That's really tough, really a rough thing to go through when you're not even yet able to put all the emotions and everything to words. Sometimes we can't even as adults. So I'm glad you're here, taking the time to do these videos and step out of that sort of parentified child and into the role of an emotionally available adult who cares for your own inner world, and you're filling that space with your own safe, reliable presence, and then from there we'll be able to accept that from somebody else who has also done the work and is emotionally able to engage and connect with you on the level that you deserve, up to and including you telling them some of what you felt as a child, so maybe they understand what they may see as questioning their love isn't, questioning their love for you. Sometimes it's more that we're still questioning our lovability, our worthiness, because our parents didn't do it. And so you're able to explain to them, if I ask you, are we okay? Or is something wrong? Or, you may even make a cute little word or joke thing that you can say so that, you can start off with it, which sort of lets them know, I'm not really feeling like I need to sit down and have a whole big conversation. I'm just feeling a little uncertain about something. And maybe if you say whatever that word, or you say it in the funny way that you say, some cartoon or something, you may both laugh at when they say it that way, then they realize you just need that small little boost, and they're able to give it to you also without them feeling like, because depending on how they're emotionally wired, they may feel like a question of their love is can be a big trigger for them. But being able to sit down and tell your partner or tell your friends that sometimes if I say or do this, it's because as a child I didn't feel, or I thought this or that, so if I do that, and then of course if there's a bigger issue, then you sit down and have a different conversation. But that's more securing your knowledge, and especially if you've made that healthy connection with somebody that can look at you and say, man, that really stinks. And when you say it this way, or even if it does sound like a joke to everybody else, I realize you're just feeling some kind of way, and it may not have been something I did that triggered it, it may not have been something you did, you just suddenly feel it. Or because the thing is sometimes you could be watching a movie or a TV show or overhear somebody else's conversation, and something they say makes you literally oof, or feel some kind of, and then that's triggered And once it just is. And so if you can easily, both to yourself, say, you know, definitely try to validate that so it doesn't happen in the future. But if you need to or want to, then you've said to your partner in the past, hey, I struggle with this, so if I question or I ask, but especially then if I come to you and want to sit down, you know, seriously because you pulled away, or I feel like, you know, we're not spending as much time together, you're pulling away, you're shutting down, I mean, that's a problem, and I don't, you know, I want to be able to discuss that. And you find the partner who can do that, even if they say, look, can we not do that 5 minutes in the door from work? Can we talk about it, you know, a little later tonight? Yeah, we're fine, but I'm just really struggling right now, so let's talk about it later so that you know kind of where I'm coming from, if I'm quieter right now, or if I'm, you know, and some of it may be that they go, I didn't even realize I was doing that, or no, you know, I love our life, I love who we are and what we are, and, you know, then you kind of figure out either new ways to re-engage, you know, or because maybe it's that they don't want to do this thing that you've always done together and it's just not that interesting to them anymore, but these other things you do together are, or it's just a matter of, you know, realizing they just need some quiet time, they're going through a thing themselves at work or with their family, or just some internal work also. And when you can name your feelings and name some of your behaviors and some of the things that make you insecure, or you know, not make you insecure, but well, some behaviors that makes me insecure, and this is why, but also sometimes I can't name why, I don't know what to tell you, I just suddenly get this feeling. So because you're able to name it and explain it, if you're with somebody that's a healthy connection, then they'll get it and they'll work with you on it, you know, as long as it's not, you know, there does come a point where additional extra, you know, individual therapy may help, because it is truly over the line kind of needy, but that's not the same as, no, I'm still healing that little one inside of me who just never got as many I love yous, or come spend some time with me, or just come, you know, what's going on, or I see that you're upset, you know, I'm still healing that person. And those are, you know, different levels, you know, of the kind of help, you know, or work that you may need to do, but yeah, any healthy relationship you should be able to say, you know, I love you, and they should be able to say that back. You should be able to express it, or, you know, yeah. So I hope you have a great day, and yeah, click like, subscribe, all that good stuff, and you'll get notified of new videos, and liking and commenting does keep me in that rhythm, that algorithm, so hopefully I reach somebody else, and I will see you in the next video. Take good care of yourself, and yeah, have a great day. Later.